Hello there and welcome back to SAFC Live. It's finished 2-2 down at Ewood Park. It was quite an enjoyable game, wasn't it? And probably on the balance, do you feel that a draw was the fairest result, do you think?
I think so, yeah, certainly. If you go off the halves, Blackburn the better team in the first half, winning a goal to the good. Could have been a couple more if we're honest. We were at it, simple as that. Second half, started better, tempo, moved the ball better, got on top, spent a lot of time in their half. Got the early goal to get back into it and then followed that up with a second. Obviously the disappointing thing is when you see the clock going into the 90th minute and they go and get the equaliser, it's a bit of a sickener and you're only getting back on the coach with a point rather than three, but I don't think you can argue it. I'll take Rob Mason's point away from home.
Yeah, and I think at half-time we'd probably have taken that as well. And we'll look back through the action now if we can. We can maybe see where Sunderland getting off to a bit of a sluggish start. Not really able to impose themselves on the game, really, were they?
No, just even sometimes just take the sting out of it, get a few passes in, whether it be the centre-backs knocking it amongst themselves or go back to the keeper and just keep the ball for 5, 6, 7 passes. We couldn't do that. As hard as we tried, it just got worse, if anything. And too many of these occasions, really, where they're in and he should score there. Dolan, I mean, obviously, I think they got man of the match in the ground. I think he's had a good opportunity there. He had another one, didn't he? So I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that one from their point of view, to be honest, with him coming back into the side this afternoon. But just too easy at times. Here we go now. See, they've picked the ball up on this side. And
Dolan's involved,
yeah,
isn't he?
just as good as Dan was today. I thought Dan was our best player by far, even in the first half. But there, he sort of gambles that he's going to go to his right hand side and dangles a leg out, and he goes past him. And they're on to us. You see it there now. See, put the brakes on, make him beat you. And then we're obviously running back towards our own goal. And they get some fortune there. They get a little bit luck there off Dennis, ricocheting. And this one here now, Chris Mepham gets the block in. It pops up into Dolan, and it pops up into Hashi's path, and he tucks it away. And yeah, 1 or 2 go up. But Trey Hume there, you see Trey's reaction. He knows he's a bit deeper. And I don't think you can argue at that point that Blackburn deserved the lead.
No. And Sunderland, we really did struggle to impose themselves, get some possession even up until they scored in the 13th minute, and it could have been even worse.
Yeah, another one there. I think Hedges, if he has that back, he steps onto it with his right foot. I know he's predominantly left-footed, but there he's trying to be a bit clever with the outside of the left boot. Doesn't get any purchase on it really, and he just rolls into the gloves of Anthony Patterson. So, those 7,500 fans who've made the journey would have been fearing the worst at this stage in the game. Really, we've not got out of first gear. We're still on the coach, and looking at the highlights, really, that we're struggling really to show anything we created in that first half because we didn't create much. Same as obviously the Norwich game last week, really. So it'll be a concern. Obviously, we're still in a good position and we've still not been beat this afternoon, but you don't want to be chasing games too often, and that's what we're doing at this moment in time. That's the 6th game now we've gone behind, and we've had to dig in to get something out of the game. The only one we haven't done is obviously the Sheffield United one, where we came away without anything that evening. But I would say Blackburn, I like them in the first half, but it's just strange how football can work, isn't it, where we go in at half time and it just almost flipped really, where we seem to be the team full of energy. We were getting the little rub of the green really with loose balls in the middle of the pitch, and Dan Neil is then controlling the game really. And this one here, see it back now, this is the offside one, isn't it, where it gets helped on back in there. Yeah, it's flicked on, comes off Dennis Sirkin, but there's 2 of them there, you can see. It's Dolan, isn't it, who's he's a yard or so the other side of the white line, the 6-yard box, and he's offside. Then you're going in with that lifeline at half-time. You're only a goal down, aren't we? We've said in other games where we're behind, but you're just a goal behind. Dan Ballard getting that goal at Swansea to take us in at 2-1 rather than 2-0. Little differences like that, and then you think, right, come on lads, we're better than this. You've said to me there, what will the coaching staff say? Well, you say it between yourselves in the change rooms there. It's not been good enough, lads. We're more than capable of showing better than what we showed, and there we do. Straight away, you see, we're onto them now. Job's helped it into there. Chris Rigg, vital touch there, out to Patrick. Dan Neil, so there's your 3 midfielders involved in the goal, galloping down the outside of Patrick into his path there. And then, yeah, listen, we get a bit of fortune here, which we, sometimes you don't get it. They got it with their goal, and there it's a little bit of a ricochet there. Wilson gets across the near post and comes off the defender as well, and it pops up to Chris Rigg, who's free, about 7 yards out, punches it into the back of the net, and we're back in it. And then it wasn't too long after we go on and get the second goal. And that's what Chris Rigg's 4th goal of the season, isn't it? So At this stage now, yeah, you can feel we're getting on top. You know, we've had good control of the half up until this point as well. And then there, you know, Dan Neil picks it up. Look at that there, composure, feeds a lovely ball out to Patrick. He's got space now to drive at the young fullback. Goes on the outside of him, plays it across, and it's a lovely finish from, you know, Hyam probably thinks he's in a good position there. He's shoulder to shoulder with Wilson Isidore, but it's the fact that Patrick's pulled it back with the right foot, and it's just enough, and Wilson's got good awareness, good skill, technique, all those things there, and it's a lovely little finish, isn't it? No chance for the keeper. And at that point now we think, right, that's it, now we're going to kick on here. Now we've been excellent, start the second half, we've got 2 goals, we're in a commanding position. Can we go on and take all 3 points?
Yeah, Roberts getting the assist there, and a lovely high quality finish from Wilson Isidore to send those 7,500 loopy behind the goal there. And we did press on, we did have a good second half.
We did, yeah, so that one there, it's a good opportunity. You see Chris Metman's reaction there, he knows he's middle of the goal, 6 yards out, just glances it, doesn't get enough connection on the header with the ball coming in. But that's a big opportunity again to put us 3-1 up, and that's pretty much game over then, isn't it? This one as well, Chris Rigg. Listen, he's not big, he's got good spring, Chris Rigg there, and you see he gets the run on his man, and he's timed it really well, he just doesn't get the direction on it. So we're still having good opportunities while we're on top at this point. Another one there. You know, see Patrick's reaction. Can he be, I often say this about Patrick, and maybe sometimes whoever's playing on the left side, you've got to gamble, get across your man at the far post, and look there, and he's probably getting himself a tap in at the far post. Be on the move, don't be on your heels waiting for the ball outside the action. And Dennis getting involved, yeah. Half chance, isn't it, on his weaker right foot. But we're spending a lot of time here, you can see now, around the edge of the Blackburn box, and this one, opportunity, it comes back out, doesn't it, to Chris Metman. He's got to back up on it really, it just gets stuck under him, can't get over the top of it. Job coming on to this one, I think it's there to be hit first time. Yes, he could have took a touch, you know, good awareness from Wilson, cuts it back for him, and just gets under it slightly, good power on it, but just gets under it, so he's on the rise. No, it's not the one, is it? I was going to say this is the equaliser now, isn't it? But it's not. It's a good block from Chris Metman, but that was a warning sign. It's similar, isn't it? Ball to the far post area. Man free outside it there. Luke gets dragged out. Yeah. And then it's centre half partner there. Good block from Chris Metman. I think it's Gay, isn't it? Got the strike away off the bench for Blackburn. And now this is where they're having a bit of a spell now, Blackburn. You see we've got everyone back there, and they work it out to this right hand side. Can we do a little bit more to stop the cross? Yes, I think so. Meander there. Yes, he goes again, but he stops, gives up on it. Patrick is outside the action there, almost watching. Listen, I'm not saying Patrick Roberts is going to go and get a towering header in, but he's on his heels out. Just do your bit for the team. Come and block somebody, help out. You know, when you can see what's happening in front of you, you can see everything there. Patrick, just a little 5-yard run, double up. Chris Metman knows he can't get there. I think Trey knows he's got 2 on him. I think it's Danny Bart, isn't it? Yeah. Who's look, he's free, Danny Bart there, look, free. Nobody's got contact on him, knocks it down, and then they've got 2 waiting to tap down. It's Leonard off the bench, isn't it? Harry Leonard, I think, off the bench. Takes a touch and then smashes it past Anthony Patterson. So it's a disappointing one right at the end of the game. Of course it is that we're not taking all 3 points.
This was a good opportunity.
Forget about this one. Never felt comfortable with me, and they've got to be honest running through here now. I think make your mind up, are you striking it early, the keeper's rooted, or are you going to knock it round him? You know, back himself with his pace. He does neither. He doesn't move it off its line, and he just ends up running into the goalkeeper with it there. Really, I think get it out your feet. Keeper's backpedaling, and then either slot it from 20 yards past him, or you've got to knock it past him and use your pace, and he doesn't do anything in the end. And then keeper gets a little bit fortunate with that one. Dennis is following in, and he almost punches it or parries it up into the air, doesn't he? And it ends up going to safety in the end. So look at the chances and the opportunities we've had in the second half compared to the first, night and day. We've got to start stringing before. I'm not going to say you can dominate a game for 90 minutes. You're going up against a side who have been in fantastic form recently, so you've got to expect them to have a spell in the game. But from our point of view, we can't just be having good 45 minutes in games. Norwich dug ourselves out of it, got away with it. Today, dug ourselves out of it to a certain extent, but didn't come away with the points.
Okay then, let's have a look at the scores in and around the Championship this afternoon. Busy day on Boxing Day. Bristol City 1, Luton Town 0. Coventry City 4, Plymouth Argyle 0. Leaves Plymouth probably bottom of the league, but we'll see that in a second. Middlesbrough were winning 3-0 at half-time. And Sheffield Wednesday came back to 3-3. Norwich City 2, Millwall 1. Oxford United 3, Cardiff City 2. Preston North End 1, Hull City 0, Sheffield United 0, Burnley 2, another big game. Swansea City 3, QPR 0. Watford 2, Portsmouth 1. You know all about our game. And later on this evening, it's Derby County versus West Bromwich Albion and Stoke City versus Leeds United. What does that do to the top end of the table first? Sheffield United are still top, but that gap has been closed to a point thanks to Burnley's win there. Then reading down, Leeds of course playing later this evening. We are a point behind them, but again, it's Blackburn who stay within the same margin thanks to the draw this afternoon. Middlesbrough pegged back to a draw. Watford taking advantage of that, jumping over the top of them into 6th position. Let's have a look at the bottom. It's Wayne Rooney's Plymouth Argyle who are bottom, Danny, and it's not looking good for Wazza.
No, not at all, no. I mean, they've had 1 or 2 good results this season, obviously beating ourselves down at home park. But yeah, the goal difference alone, look at that, -27. Was it 4 today?
Yeah.
Doesn't look good for them, does it? Listen, they're still within touching distance, of course. A couple of wins and they're right back amongst it. It's tight down the bottom, but just seem to be in free fall at this moment in time, don't they?
Yep, that's how that looks. Let's have a look at maybe your thoughts now, if we can. This one's coming from Nathan. What's your opinion on the game, and do you think Dan Neil should get man of the match? Who was your man of the match?
Yeah, well, at half-time, we said, didn't we, Dan Neil was the only one for me really coming out with it with any credit, who played to his levels, really. Yep. Trying to drive us forward, taking the ball in tight areas and getting us on the front foot, and he carried on in the second half, played a big part in the first goal, obviously getting down that right-hand side. And just his use of the ball, really, and his composure on the ball. Obviously, a lot of the lads stepped up in that second half, but Dan was the consistent player for me throughout the 90 minutes. So yeah, certainly Dan was the man of the match, and obviously he's asked about my opinion on the game overall. Well, we've just debriefed it really in terms of the highlights. Yeah, so game of 2 halves. If we're honest, we were the better team in the second half. Obviously. They would have been disappointed only going in a goal to the good at the break. So, listen, we got away with 1 in the first half, and yes, we're disappointed we've not took all 3 points, but over the course of the 90 minutes, I think draw was a fair result. Okay,
let's have a look at another thought if you can. If we can. Look at that, watching from Denmark. How are the lads? Thank you very much. Good to see you in the away shirt. Maybe some Christmas presents there. What should we do now? Let's have a look forward to Sunderland's next game then. Sunderland are in action once again in the busy festive period. Sunday, 3 p.m. kickoff, December the 29th, away against Stoke City. We'll be seeing a lot of them, and we'll see them again in January as well. But that is Sunderland's next game, down to the Potters. Okay then, that's been it for this afternoon here on SAFC Live. We'll be back on Sunday. As we said, you can get your matchday stream passes right now for that one at safc.com. We wish you a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you soon.